What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever podcast of Rude Dudes. I'm joined with my co-host Matt
Hi, everyone.
and Justin,
What up?
and I am Tyler. And I'm excited for this because I've been waiting to do something like this for a while. Um,
Same.
Yeah,
and
I yeah. I've been
and
wanting to try to do a podcast as well. Sorry.
no, you're all good. There might be some talking over each other, and that's perfectly okay. Um, so the goal of this podcast, just a quick introduction to who we are, what we do, and the whole point of this. So we are putting together, just a bunch of topics about either gaming media itself, entertainment, and we're just going to be rude about it.
Yep, we all have a lot of different interests and we talk about it all together incessantly, like even things that the other two might not even be aware exists or a problem that might be occurring in some interest that we have. So we thought, why not make a podcast about it and have other people join the conversation? Probably roast us on some of our opinions and, some of our viewpoints, but that's all fun. Let's have a fun debate in the comments section.
And also to for more content, and you just stay up to date with all these podcasts that we're going to be rolling out. Um, subscribe, leave a like, make it go through the algorithm. And yeah, so you guys got anything else to say? You guys want to say in the introduction?
Nah, I think we can get started.
Alrighty, sounds good. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the Bethesda and what's going on with that, because I've been seeing a lot of things lately of Bethesda making some
hmm
big moves.
Mm-hmm.
One of the major things we're going to talk about in a different podcast or a different episode.
hmm
But one of the, so what have you guys heard about what's going on with Bethesda right now?
So, one of the things that I've recently seen, and this is not really a big thing, but I do want to talk about it. They pretty much released or a list leaked of the games like it was 2019 and their schedule of when games were supposed to come out. And it was absolutely mind-boggling to kind of see that we were supposed to have Starfield like 2 years ago. And then on top of that, we were supposed to have Elder Scrolls like by next year. And that's not happening anytime soon. Like the earliest that like that I've seen news outlets been reporting is like 2027. It feels like it's going to be 2077 though. But
2077 is a different game.
yeah, that's true. Um but I mean, like what other big moves have you guys been noticing with Bethesda? Because there is just so much to talk about with them as a company right now.
Oh yeah,
Well,
and oh sorry, go ahead.
no, just to go based on what you said, man. Where did you see these findings about Bethesda's like supposed release calendar?
It was a leak on Reddit. I'm not even gonna lie to you. One of my
Mm,
friends brought it to my attention, and we had like a whole long discussion about it because Indiana Jones was supposed to be out, I believe, by now. Again, Starfield was supposed to be out like 2-ish years ago. So it really kind of shows the impact that COVID had on the gaming
yeah.
community in general. But granted, that could have just been a rough draft of like when ideally they would have wanted things out, and things can happen. Development time is taking longer and longer nowadays. So like it could just be like an over fabrication of like the internet being like, look at all the, effects that COVID had on gaming. But at the same time, it could also be like a piece of evidence of like, no, this is indeed the effects that COVID had on gaming.
hmm
One of the biggest things I've seen is like, especially like all the leaked games.
Mm.
So
Oh
like,
yeah.
did you guys hear that the next Fallout, like they want to get it out as soon as possible, so they're contracting I believe it's Obsidian, don't quote me on that, But I've been like seeing a bunch of TikToks and stuff about Tom Howard, right?
Tom
Oh,
Howard, yeah,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
Todd
Tom
Howard.
Todd Howard. Todd Howard. Sorry, I'm a noob. Um,
That's why I'm here.
you know, about getting like questioned, and I think he explained that, you know, they just want to make sure that it's done and done right without losing focus on any of the other games like Elder Scrolls 6.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
so like kind of going forward with that, like just trying to stay like in the trend right now, because the Fallout series is just blowing up right now. So they're just trying to stay on like the hype train
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of staying relevant. As far as the roadmap though, Matt, I've seen that, and it is mind-boggling, because it's like, damn, we were supposed to have a lot of like good AAA games out by now, and then just COVID just shut down everything.
I know. And that leads into a bigger topic that we should absolutely talk about, which is um this generation of gaming too,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
that is such a big topic. Like I always see people discussing if this is even a good generation or not.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane, but I do think it is the right call for them to streamline and get a Fallout game out ASAP, because you know, when you look at Fallout, the TV series, and you look at Bethesda as a whole, not that Fallout was necessarily dying or like a dead franchise, but it was becoming like a very nostalgic franchise.
It was
Um,
declining, I would say.
yeah, it was declining. I mean, I think that a lot of people still talked about it and like raved about the Fallout series, but I just didn't see it as much. And with the flops of like, I don't know if this is a hot take, but from what I remember, people didn't love Fallout 4 a lot when when it first came out. Um, and that's just me on recollection of like my inner circle of friends and whatnot. A lot of people dropped it immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
It's like,
the major, sorry for cutting you off, but
No, you're good.
the major issue that came with Fallout 4 was like the modding scene, because so many of these mods were like quality of life, you know, it's stuff that like
Mhm.
should have been a part of the game. And I think that's why people just like bagged on it, because it's like, you guys could have done so much better. And
Right.
like as far as updating your game, that you had to rely on the modding community to make sure that it was good, you know. But I
Right.
think the biggest downfall, I don't think it was Fallout 4, I think it was Fallout 76.
And
yeah.
that was going to be my next point.
So
Yeah.
Fallout 76, because I know the history, I played it at launch and
Oh,
stuff,
okay.
and it was terrible. Like I got
Oh, yeah.
maybe like, I probably played it for like 5 hours, and then
Mm.
I was like, this is boring, you know, the world just seems so empty, despite just
And
having a bunch of like, you know, enemies and stuff like that. Just like the quests were repetitive, the enemy types, there's only like 5 of them at the time, you know. But the thing
Wow.
is that when the Fallout series came out, they like, other people took a look at the game, realized that it has been updated, and then that's how everyone now has been like, yo, hey, this game is updated. And it was back in 2020 when they updated it to like, where to actually include human NPCs instead of robots, and just like a whole plethora of just content to do. Did you guys know that there's a battle royale in the game?
yep.
What?
Yeah.
No,
Mhm.
I had no idea. That's crazy.
I remember that's being one of the big tentpoles of like when Bethesda was showing off Fallout 76 at one of the Microsoft showcases. That was like one of the things that like that was the major announcement.
When did
Yes.
Microsoft acquire them again? Wasn't it like
2022.
2022? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Um,
But they've
wait,
always had like a very close relationship with Microsoft in particular.
yeah, because
yeah.
of Obsidian. Obsidian was also very close with Microsoft.
Well,
Gotcha.
it circles all the way back to the original Xbox when they had Morrowind come onto the OG Xbox,
mhm.
Hmm.
and like then they had Oblivion come out to the Xbox. It's like they've had that relationship for years.
From the beginning.
Can I take you
Essentially,
guys
yeah.
Can I take you guys back for just 1 second? Do you remember when and I'm dating myself here, but do you remember like that whole controversy that Oblivion, it came out and it was rated T, and then there was like a area discovered that threw it into a mature rating. I don't remember what the area entailed, but I just remember like going to GameStops after, and they like crudely would write on all the boxes that it was rated M for mature and not T for teen because they weren't reprinting it.
Oh. No, I
Yeah.
honestly I never played Oblivion.
I didn't play Oblivion like that. I just had friends that did, and that was at a time where it was like it actually was rated M, or like it like got changed to be rated M, and then I think it went back to being rated T. I'm actually gonna Google this because I need to remember the exact
Yeah.
reasoning behind it.
Yeah. I don't remember that at all. Like
Really?
I played the game, I believe it was at launch, I want to say,
Okay.
or at least close to launch. And yeah, I don't, yeah, that's like one thing I don't remember. Of course, that was like almost 20 years ago. So it's like, of course not.
Yeah, I was a baby.
Yeah, like
Yeah, we
fucking,
were. Yeah, you were a babe. I mean, granted, you're only 2 years younger than us, but
fucking feel
um,
old yet?
okay, I have an update for you guys, and this is and
Okay.
it is exactly kind of what I thought it was. But on May 3rd, 2006, the Entertainment Software Rating Board, or ESRB, in North America changed Oblivion's rating from teen to mature, citing the game's content not considered in the ESRB review, i.e., the presence in the PC version of the game of a locked out file that can be accessed by using an apparently unauthorized third party tool, allows the users to play the game with topless versions of female characters. So that's why it was rated. So it's kind of interesting because it's almost like a mod changed it to being rated M for mature.
Oh, okay.
That's
Yeah,
that's actually kind of funny.
I
It's
know.
like it's like we got to change everything. Why? Because we locked boobs behind a file that only certain people can do, because at the time no one that was gaming on a computer like knew to like the extent that like we know now on how
Mhm,
computers work.
mhm.
I mean, yeah, there was modding and stuff back then, but like that was like a super specific thing.
I
Like that.
want to say, oh, go on, Tyler. Sorry,
Oh
I did not
no,
mean to cut you off.
it's okay. Um
It's
You're like,
gonna happen. It's
I'm
gonna
used
I've
to
done it
it.
already.
I'm used to it.
um but yeah, no, I just think that's like really really funny. There was another game that did that. It was what's it called? GTA. Went from rated
GTA did it.
rated M to like rated X or something because of
Oh, was
the
it
hot
like chocolate?
coffee,
Hot chocolate?
or hot coffee.
Was it hot coffee?
Yeah, it was
Was
the
it
hot
San
coffee machine.
Andreas?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
was hot coffee. Yeah, San Andreas.
And
Yeah.
modders brought it back. Like it
Mhm.
was
Oh my God, did
completely
they?
deleted. It was completely deleted from the game, and modders brought it back because that's how it got back to the rated M. And then people were like, "I don't
Yep.
like that. I want my hot coffee." So they're just, let's go, let's do it.
Another
And
game that comes to mind when I think of that is Dead or Alive 2, or Dead or Alive Ultimate. The PC
Also,
version, there was a way to mod to make the girls naked. And it was, I swear to God, we were living in the wild, wild west when I think about this. It was legitimately advertised on a magazine. They were like, Dead or Alive, but naked. And it was bizarre. And there was literally like a nude model of one of the characters on the front of the magazine, or like in the magazine somewhere. But she was obviously censored. That
mm,
was a wild time, but that was around the time of 2006. So like this is around the same era. And that's why like I think of that. But I genuinely wonder if that's why Dead or Alive Ultimate got shifted to an M rating when it always was a T rating. well, Dead or Alive in general was a T rating before that, but
To be
that's not
fair,
on topic.
I would hope so.
I
Because
oh
if
I
they're just
know.
advertising that kind of thing, like, please be 18 or over.
Oh my god! And I bought that magazine when I was that young, like because it was a gaming magazine, and I remember flipping to that page and being like, "Yo, what?" Because I
Was it
was
Game
real
Informer?
young. It might have been. It might have been. I just picked up a gaming magazine and I remember
Mm.
like seeing it in there. It was the most bizarre thing. I just remember being like, "What?"
I thought you were going to see it as like beach volleyball, the spinoff. I was like,
No.
that makes sense, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about beach volleyball. I think beach volleyball 2 might have new mods, but
I didn't
I
even
Hold
know
on,
there was a
let me do my
spin.
research.
yeah, we need to know. Let us know, Justin.
To be completely honest with you, I didn't even know there was a spin off to that with beach
Oh yeah.
Oh
volleyball.
yeah,
They
I
made beach
played.
volleyball after 3. I'm a
That-
huge Dead or Alive buff. Um, they did it after 3, and then came out with Ultimate, and then Dead or Alive 4 came out, and then Extreme 2 came out, and Extreme 2 was very controversial. But that's another story for another time.
we're just starting the topics. This is the introduction.
we
This is
just
like
it,
we're here.
I
We're
like how
we're just throwing these out. We're like we got this another time. So look forward. Make sure to subscribe.
yes.
we already branched off. We're not even
Well,
back
yeah,
on Bethesda.
which is fine. I mean, it's just the flow of the conversation. We're having fun, guys.
Justin, do
Um,
you have an update about the nude models?
Oh, I wasn't even going to look at that. No.
Darn it. All
So,
right. That's
you notice about the Fallout game or Bethesda games in general in the past, like, I guess 10 years? Fallout 4 came out in 2015 and Starfield came out in 2023. Both games kind of felt like they've aged, at least
mm,
compared to its like the rest of the competitors.
mm.
If you look at 2015, the biggest RPG that came out during that time was Witcher 3. And the biggest
understandably.
RPG, yeah, and the biggest
Just a little
game,
RPG.
yeah, and one of the biggest RPG game that came out last year was Baldur's Gate 3.
Wow.
That
So
is
like
wild.
they've had this like unfortunateness of like being compared to by these juggernaut games that essentially redefine the genre. And it's like, damn, bro, like how unfortunate can you get that you release at the same time or in the same year as these two massive titles, and yours
Yeah,
is like still the same game as it was back in like the 360 PS3 era.
you're talking about Starfield, right?
Starfield and Fallout 4 too,
Yeah, no,
to a bit.
which is hysterical because I played Starfield. I still have it downloaded and everything. Um, and like I'll casually play it because I think what killed the game, my personal opinion, because it killed the game for me, is the whole loading screens.
I heard it was pretty bad.
It Everything you do, everything you go into, on top of all the like the missions that require you to go through like every
Hmm.
building,
Mhm.
it's just way too much and it kills it. And on
Now,
top of that, like back when I played it months ago.
Matt, do
Like
you know
probably
about this loading screen?
Yeah, so when it came out, I read about that on Twitter and Reddit because I was at my sister-in-law's house and
Hmm.
her husband is like a huge gamer, and like we were talking about Starfield because we were talking about if we thought it was going to do good or bad. So we were both like scrolling through Reddit like for hours probably, just like reading comments and seeing first impressions and watching gameplay and like, trying to get a feel of like what people were saying about it. But yeah, that was like one of the most common things was the loading screens.
yeah. and on top of that, it's just like, I mean, I don't even know. I don't remember. I don't think it gave me a tutorial about how to build ships and stuff. And like, it's very
Hmm.
hands off, but it also holds your hand. As weird as that sounds,
Interesting.
like, it's like the places where it needs to show you stuff, it doesn't show you. But the places that
Hmm.
it doesn't, like, that's self-explanatory, that people, that gamers have been seeing for years and years and years come out of Bethesda games, it's like, here's a refresher.
Mm,
So like, and on top of that, it should have just been a DLC for Fallout.
okay.
Like, in my personal
Interesting.
opinion, as far as like the kind of like the world in it. Like, yes, you're in space, you're talking to alien or not. Actually, are there even aliens in that game?
I don't know.
Um, I think that dives into spoiler territory
Okay.
because yeah, that's like late game shit. I
Yeah,
think.
I mean, I never got that far, to be
Yeah.
completely honest. Like, I got to the point and I was like, all right. And then I had a friend who was like dead into it and like everything. And then, like, I don't know. I just feel like Starfield just died and it died for everyone at the same time
Yeah.
because it became so irrelevant
Hmm.
and stuff. And it's just like, okay. Like, they lost so much money on that game.
Well, I think that goes back into what I was saying earlier that like it released a month after Baldur's Gate 3, and
Hmm.
it's like when Baldur's Gate 3 is at its fucking peak, you're gonna get compared to it. And it's like, yeah, Starfield is not at this even close to the same level as Baldur's Gate 3. So it's like people are gonna talk shit to it.
Right.
And also it's also because I think what helps it, like the negativity of it, is that it was exclusive to Xbox, so it was not on PlayStation. And like
Uh,
the negativity of like, of course, console war shit
oh,
is
yeah.
gonna bring it down.
Which
I
is just so silly to me.
It is.
But
It's so we live in a day and age where, especially because nowadays everyone's getting a computer.
mhm,
Hmm.
Everyone. Like, eventually, like, there's still a lot of people on consoles. I'm not discrediting anyone who's playing on a console or, like, strictly likes consoles and stuff. But like, in the last, I would say, 5, 6 years,
Oh
like,
yeah.
the communities, like, I've seen, like, I joined a Discord and there was over 500,000 people in it,
oh my
Hmm.
god.
and it blew my mind because I'm like, damn, like, I know there's a lot more people out there and stuff, but
Mhm,
like if you do the math, like, that is, like, I mean, it's a huge fraction of the world population.
right.
But going back to, like, the game and stuff, like, I this is where I'm like, the console wars is dumb. Everything needs to be crossplay, because then, like, why hold these titles from each other, like, and the
Mhm,
whole console exclusive thing, like, that is just to make, like, either Sony, Xbox, which Xbox, I don't know if you guys heard, but
Oh yeah. I
they're
know. Yeah.
no longer going to be having exclusives. They're going to be sharing everything with Sony.
wow.
Uh, eh,
Almost everything. Almost everything.
yeah. So far, only 4 titles. It will. I'm sure it's gonna increase down the road, but yeah, so far it's only 4 titles.
Right. But the potential, if, like, in my personal cure, and this is just me just ranting at this point,
Hmm.
my personal cure is if the, like, Sony or Microsoft just ties their names to the game and then just sends the game to each console and PC,
Right.
and then they'll be able to collect that revenue,
Yeah.
because you release, like, I know Halo's going to be one of the biggest titles that are coming to PlayStation.
Hmm.
That's going to be freaking huge.
That is absolutely massive.
Because you got people who have been diehard PlayStation like fans, from PS1 to PS5, never had an Xbox,
Mhm.
playing Halo for the first time. And like me
That's-
back in the day, like back in like 2006, 2007, 2008, I really don't remember. Um, that was a part of my growth, like my personal growth. The person I am today is because of Halo 3.
Love
Like,
Oh,
that.
same. One of my favorite games of all time.
just because of the amount of fun that
Mhm.
showed me. And honestly,
Yeah.
it's a big thing into the game, like the games I play now, because I was a big Forge person.
Oh, okay.
So like I would make
Mhm.
maps, I would, upload them, put them on my profile so people can look at my profile, download it, see if they liked it, then put it on their profile and kind of just like that. That's how the back then of being viral. That led into me getting into simulation games and like all that other stuff, which is all I
Yeah.
play now.
Mm.
I mean, hell, Matt, you last night, you and Justin both watched me build an engine in one of the games.
Yeah,
We sure did.
we sure did. And speaking of that, like kind of going off that, it also brings up the point. This is always such a glaring issue to me whenever I think of console exclusives is Bloodborne,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
because Bloodborne was supposed to come out on PC and it never did. And it's the only From Software game that, well, actually Demon's Souls as well, but that's also a PlayStation exclusive. But like, it's the only From Software game to also from that era that still has not received a graphical like enhancement or update by PlayStation. And again, it's just kind of tied to outdated software. Not saying that it means it's a bad thing, because Bloodborne is arguably one of the best From Software games of all time. But again, we're going to have a whole From Software episode, I'm sure, because we are all From Software heads.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like you think of Bloodborne, and it's like I always see comments of people saying, like, oh, I never played it because I'm not going to buy a PlayStation just to play this game, or like people begging for the PC port, or so on and so forth.
I've
So
seen
yeah, I do agree. Like I think that console exclusivity needs to kind of just die. It almost killed Street Fighter. Like Street Fighter 5 was a console exclusive for a hot minute on PlayStation 4. I don't know if it came out on PC immediately, but it only made its way to PC and PlayStation, and you're basically alienating part of your fan base because Sony funded it. But again, that's another topic for another time. But good on like Bethesda, and good on, Microsoft in general, that it seems like there's not going to be any more, or not anymore, but there's
tr-
going to be less exclusives,
they're trying to
Mhm.
stop it.
which
Yeah.
Like,
is good.
yeah, because it
Yeah.
just brings more people together, and that's what gaming's
Mhm.
about.
Exactly. That's why
Yeah.
we're here,
Yeah, no, for real. I mean, we're here for you
for
know.
I
real.
think yeah. I think that's like been Microsoft's plan since like I would say even before COVID was this. Like trying to make exclusives not be a thing as much. And I think what Microsoft plan is what they're leaning more so is like in terms of their revenue services is just like subscription because
Hmm.
Game Pass is so fucking big for them.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
And like
even when they were coming out with this new generation, like
mhm,
I always remember Justin and I had this conversation plenty of times where I would always argue, like, why would you buy an Xbox when you could buy a PlayStation when it has all these exclusives? And Justin was like, they're just kind of doing a different thing. And
mhm,
that thing is Game Pass. And
mhm,
look at where it has gotten them. So
yeah.
kudos to Microsoft.
And look where PlayStation is at now. It's like they're kind of in a weird spot where they could put hundreds of millions of dollars into their games, but how much of that are they seeing back? Not that much.
Hmm.
And like you're still like just earlier this year, like see layoffs happen at PlayStation Studios, and
oh,
it's like
that
for like Insomniac Games, they lost people
That will be a
after
topic.
yeah.
That will be a topic for another podcast because I can talk for hours about that
Mm-hmm.
Same.
because it's so shitty.
It's so
Yeah.
shitty.
And
Um,
I will say one last thing I'll say about the layouts for PlayStation. Did you guys see the picture of Jim Ryan with I think it's PlayStation London?
no, I don't
So
even think I heard of that person before.
so Jim Ryan was the CEO of PlayStation, and he was gonna leave. He was gonna leave the studio, or he was gonna leave PlayStation because for whatever reason. So during the time of like during like February, he was doing like a tour. Like he was stopping by all the studios and just like having a farewell tour,
Mm.
right? Takes a picture of he goes to PlayStation London, has that little party, and then leaves. 5 days after that, that entire studio shuts down.
Wow.
That's fucking nuts.
Right?
I did.
Damn, that's
Can I
wild.
bring it back to Starfield really quickly though?
Yeah,
Yes, please.
Because could you imagine Phil Spencer, which I love Phil, mind you, he's like probably one of my favorite like gaming CEOs. I just think that a lot of his takes are really good. What you know, as a fighting game fanatic myself, like his response to somebody asking him if they were worried about like Street Fighter 5 just going to PlayStation, and he was like, "We got Killer Instinct." Um, so I just like love him for like small things like that. But can you imagine Phil Spencer waking up and realizing that Starfield was a complete flop?
Mm.
Like, damn it, Bethesda again.
yeah.
Like,
They have to do something with that game
Well,
aren't they
because
coming out with DLC?
I'd have
yeah.
no
So
idea.
Todd Howard was on the Kind of Funny podcast, and he mentioned that there's going to be DLC coming in fall, and there's a new update coming soon. I think they even released it, or they announced it just today about
Mm,
new updates for Starfield. Like kind of small updates, nothing like game changing, I think. But yeah, so they're still working on the game and fixing it up still.
See, that's good though. I mean, I hope that like like they announce something
Mhm.
because a lot of people aren't even thinking about Starfield anymore. So like
yeah,
to be able to go back and be like, all right, cool, like like they updated it, I can go back, play it, and be a better experience, and then I could change my thought of it because it's just wild. I can't sit there and think be like the game was so anticipated
Mhm.
and
yeah,
for it to flop like that, like then that's just how every game has been lately coming out. I don't buy new games anymore. I don't pre-order because of that. Because if a game
Mhm.
comes out now, it's either buggy, there's something broken with it, or it was just overhyped and the gameplay sucks. And I can list an entire list of games just in the last 2 years that came out and were just complete flops.
Yep.
not Elden Ring,
Not Elden Ring. Elden Ring is one of
but
the greatest. On that note, though, I think this is a good spot to end the podcast. So, is there anything else you guys want to say about
I
kind of
just
tying
want
up?
yeah, I just want to say thank you all so much for joining us. Um, we appreciate you listening. Leave your comments down below about any of our takes, or give us any advice about how we could potentially make this better, or if you enjoyed the episode, let us know.
Yeah. And make sure to subscribe down below. Follow us on all of our social media. We'll have that in the description. And yeah, we'll see you guys later. And also, just a quick thing, this is our first podcast. So
Yes.
please go easy on us. We are learning how to do this. We are learning how to talk. We're learning how to get into all of it. We will get there. I promise. So on that note, Justin, do you got anything to say?
I keep no promises.
All right. And we will talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.